Oh, hello, sweet, fabulous, precious friends. You are in for a treat. Hey, everybody, my name is Fran, and I am one of the co-hosts here over at Rambling Through Everyday Life with Fran and Angela, except for Angela's not here with me this week. Our schedules just didn't work out with this particular recording, and that's okay because, like I said, you guys are in for a short but sweet, fabulous treat. You are going to hear from my dear friend, Claire Tanner. Claire's a college student, and y'all, get ready. I know your little socks are going to be blown away, blown off by this girl that just has all this wisdom. Y'all, it's so rich. And so we spend a few minutes talking about November, talking about what we're grateful for, what it means to her, what is she grateful for, what is going on in her life that's hard as a college student. We talk about the infamous Thanksgiving meal. Does she love it or hate it? It's a good conversation. I think you guys are going to love it. Happy November, everybody. We love you. Thanks for listening, and y'all just enjoy the show. Okay, hi, my good buddy Claire Tanner. I am personally so thankful that you are with me today. I'm glad that you're here.
I'm grateful to be here.
I'm grateful that you're here. We are going to talk about gratitude because, hello, it's November. And I really do think that gratitude is something that we have to be intentional about, that we need to be aware of. And if we aren't intentional, just like anything else that's good for us, we will just skip past it and not have a heart of gratitude, a spirit of gratitude. So before we dig into what maybe you're particularly thankful for right now, what does that word even mean to you? What does gratitude or being thankful, what does that mean to you, Claire Tanner?
Yeah, so gratitude, I think, is a word that we all use. Mm-hmm. I think everyone all over the world can say they're grateful for something. I see that a lot on social media. Yeah. Just grateful, thankful. But I think as Christians, it kind of takes on a different meaning. Our gratitude sometimes isn't from ourselves. It's ultimately at the heart of how we live in relationship with the Lord and how we trust in Him, because we can also all agree that there's days where it's hard to be grateful. Mm-hmm. And so I think in order to be grateful on the hard days, we have to have that foundation with the Lord. So that's why I personally believe that gratitude is ultimately dependent on the fact that we trust the Lord and that we believe He's good, even when it's hard to believe that. Yeah. And when we can believe that, we can be grateful.
Okay, so you're talking about some things that are hard. What is hard for you right now that might be causing you to work harder at having a spirit of gratitude? Because to me, I mean, I know you. I know a side of you. I don't know all of Claire in her entirety. I don't. But I would also think Claire doesn't have any difficulty going on in her life. Everything is just great all the time. But I know that's not reality. And so what's hard for you right now in your life?
Yeah, sure. So I think back to this summer. So kind of sad story. Me and Fran met this summer to kind of dream up of what our work in the admissions office would look like this summer. And we talked about we wanted to ultimately love God and love people. And that took me to the truth of we are called to carry each other's burdens. Galatians 6:2. Mm-hmm. And so I think back to the summer and of us dreaming that up, and how so much of that work was for the admissions office, but so much the Lord was preparing me to do that. So much this semester.
So kind of Him,
right?
To go before us and prepare a way,
right? And little did I know that this semester I was going to be carrying a lot of burdens. Some of my dearest friends are walking through some really hard seasons right now. And even though I can say this has been such a joyful and encouraging season for me, Sometimes you can get weighed down by the burdens of others. And so I think I would say that's been the biggest difficulty or hardship this semester is I love my people and I want and desire to love them well, but sometimes it is hard to carry each other's burdens because they're walking through hard things. So naturally it's going to be hard. You can't expect that to be easy. But yeah, I would say so. Just walking through that of what the Lord's calling me to do and trying to love God and love my people well through the midst of it.
Yeah. Well, and you and I have lots of great conversations, but I think that viewing all of life, the good and the bad, the easy and the difficult through the lens of Christ is just how that's going to give us a heart of gratitude because we're just not looking at it through our flesh.
Right.
Because if we look at these difficult seasons through our flesh, well then, I'm not going to be writing in my journal things I'm thankful for.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be saying, Lord, why this? Oh my gosh, this. I'm dying over this. This is terrible. So you help me do that because you do that beautifully with other people. I'm telling you, y'all that are listening, you hear Angela and I talk about the value of intergenerational relationships. And I cannot stress enough how sweet the Lord has been to me to give me college students that teach me and encourage me and inspire me to want to know the Lord better by being in His Word. And Claire, you are one of those people. I'm so thankful, so very thankful. Okay, what is the Lord teaching you right now? Because you do live a life of gratitude, whether you say it in those words exactly. You are a very grateful person. And I think that when we stop and recognize, this is what the Lord's teaching me right now, then you are going to be thankful because you do view all of life through the lens of Christ. So what is He teaching you right now?
The Lord is teaching me what the word margin means and what that looks like in life.
That's a boogaboo.
Good stuff, yeah. So I think running from a year and semester last year of just having no margin and the way that destroyed me spiritually, emotionally, mentally, all the things.
Because you were going like a crazy person?
Yeah, absolutely. Crazy person.
Oh, and it was all good things.
Yeah, and I believed that, and that's why I didn't let myself slow down because I loved the things I was doing, and I still love the things I'm doing. But the Lord is teaching me margin, even a few minutes between things, to sit and rest, to pray, to be grateful in that margin. I never want to move from one thing to another without preparing my heart for the next thing. If I'm transitioning from class to go to grab a cup of coffee with someone, I want to prepare my heart for that conversation. And I by no means do that perfectly, and I'm still even learning how to build margin and how to use that margin. But yeah, He's definitely teaching me what that looks like, and it's a game changer.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how that's going to look further down the road when I grow in that even more.
Yeah. Jesus did not live a hurried life.
Right. So true.
And God, we all need to slow down. And when we move from one thing to the other on our calendar, and we want to steward all of that well and be responsible with the things that the Lord is giving us in our day, places to be, conversations, appointments, we want to prepare our heart and not just rush in and blow in and blow out. And that's a challenge. I mean, it's something that we all have to work at and be disciplined in and intentionally build that margin into our life, because at the end of the day, with that margin, you're going to be so thankful, not just for the things that were on your calendar, but the way that you were present, that your mind was present, that your heart was present, and you were able to prepare yourself for each one of those conversations, classes, situations that you were able to step into, all because of margin. I think we all need to have a little bit of margin built into our day.
Yes, we do.
What do you love most about Thanksgiving? Or do you like Thanksgiving, the meal itself? I hate it.
I'm not a big fan of dressing. Not even a huge fan of turkey.
No, me neither. If you could change it up, what would you want the Thanksgiving meal to be?
Okay.
Mexican?
I do love Mexican food. Also, did you do this last year where y'all did pizzas, or was
Oh my
that
God,
Christmas?
Yes, we did. I forgot all about that.
I would absolutely
Okay.
do pizza for
Okay, so I
Thanksgiving.
highly recommend that for anybody that does not love the traditional Thanksgiving meal. My family does not. We just don't get into it. I think my kids probably only eat the rolls and maybe some mac and cheese and maybe mashed potatoes. It just depends on the kid. We don't love all of it. But yeah, we ordered to go pizza kits from a local place, Rock and Dough Pizza. Shout out for any of you all that are local. Highly recommend doing it because it was just so fun and so good, and I want your belly to be full. Okay, so what would you do? Would you do pizzas?
I would probably do pizza. I also am just a huge fast food girl. I'm probably the most unhealthy person I know. So I could.
Dylan Thomas, he's going to come in a strong second.
There we go. I could totally do some Zaxby's for Thanksgiving. I wouldn't mind that a single bit.
Your mom's dying right now.
Absolutely.
Do
Yeah.
y'all do a traditional meal?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you just gonna have to suck it up and enjoy it and eat the roll, or
Right.
what are you gonna eat? What will you put on your plate?
I'll eat some turkey. I'll eat some sweet potatoes maybe.
Okay.
Also, the
that's
mashed
impressive.
potatoes, macaroni, and roll. Probably
Yeah.
about it. But
Yeah.
I think my family, I mean, we have a huge family. And so my grandmother and my mom and my aunt just cook so much. And so
They
I
love
think
it.
they do. I think eventually, once they get older, I could talk them out of it and bring some pizza or Zaxby's into play. We'll see.
Listen, y'all's generation could be the generation that just says, "Forget it all. We're not doing any of this."
Let's
mess."
do it.
Let's do. And there goes the turkey dressing. Okay, Claire. All right, so let's talk about one more thing. What piece of advice? You're a college student. How old are you now?
I'm 20.
20. You're a junior. Tell us quickly, because I do think that the time of year that we are entering, that college students, yes, it's not going to slow down. I mean, y'all got exams and all that kind of stuff. But for somebody younger, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a college student, but for somebody younger that's going to transition into a slower season because the holidays are coming, what piece of advice can you give a girl or a young person on finding the Lord again? What would you tell somebody that is just been so busy that they're not growing in their relationship with the Lord? What would you tell them?
I think two things. I think one, you need to be in a community that's going to lead you in that. That's been a huge game
So what does
changer
that
in my
look like
faith.
for you? When you say community, who are those people to you?
Yeah, those are people who are going to ask you, what are you reading right now? What is the Lord teaching you right now? What does your prayer life look like? Those kind of questions. People that are going to make sure you're in the Word, make sure that you're praying, making sure that you're grateful, encouraging you to keep a journal, a prayer journal, a gratitude journal, all the things. And I need people that are going to ask me that question and hold me accountable.
Yeah.
And also people that are just going to lean in with you and carry your burdens,
Yeah.
pray for you.
Right.
People
literally doing the hard work of life together.
Right. I think that is so important in your relationship with the Lord. We were not created to do this alone. And so if you're not in a community of believers who want you to pursue the Lord and who will pursue the Lord alongside you, you're going to fall back for sure. That's been huge for me in my relationship with the Lord, just union, providing that community for me.
What are you reading? How do you determine what you're going to read in Scripture every day? Or not every day. I don't want to put that pressure on you like, oh, yes, I am in the Word 7 days a week, never fails. When you are opening up the Word, how do you determine what you're reading?
Yeah, I've done a lot of things. I started off the year with a chronological Bible. That got super, super tough.
Yes, I will concur.
Exodus, Leviticus, yep, that's hard. And so I think it's still great to keep that going, but also the Gospels never fail.
Yeah.
with my Young Life girls right now, we're reading through John, and it's just really good to be taken back to the foundation of my faith and just to remember, why.
Jesus never gets old,
Right.
does he?
Never, ever, ever. And I'm always learning, even from, I think sometimes we think our faith can be too basic, or
Right.
we think we already know something, and so we should be pursuing harder, quote-unquote, things.
Listen, amen, yes.
Right, and so that is not true.
Right.
You always want to grow, and you always want to know Jesus more, but Jesus isn't too simple or too basic, ever.
Oh, that's such a good word. That is such a good word. I always encourage people that if they have not been in the Bible for a little while, go to the Gospels.
Right.
Because you're going to find Jesus and fall in love with your faith, just like you said, all over again. So, golly, yes. And what a sweet time of the year to do that,
For sure.
Okay, last thing, and then we'll be done. Where do you, as a 20-year-old, where do you see hope in a very hard world? I don't know what your perception is of what's going on in the world. Like, I don't know. You don't sit around maybe and watch the news like adults do. But does the world seem hard to you based on what you see and know? Or are you just kind of like, and it's totally fine. I mean, I think if I were to ask my kids, they'd be like, I don't know. I don't know what you mean by hard things of this world. But does the adult world seem hard to you, like what's happening in our society and in our country?
Absolutely. It's sad. It's broken. And
Yeah.
we know we live in a broken world, but right now it just seems like no joke.
Yeah.
We're broken.
It really is broken.
Yeah, it really is. Like, we need help. We need a savior.
Yeah. So where do you see hope? What brings you hope in the day-to-day?
I think I find hope in a speaker at chapel this semester talked about how even if it doesn't seem like the Lord is being faithful right now, although He is, if we can't see that right now, then we need to remember when He was, and then lean into His character. And if we forget when the Lord was faithful, and when we forget who the Lord is, we're going to be burdened by the weight of the world too heavily. And so I think that is bringing me hope of remembering when the Lord was faithful and remembering who He is, and remembering that even when I can't tell He's faithful, or even when I can't see the fruit of what He's doing something. And then two, coming from a perspective of ministry, there's so many people pouring into younger generations, and pouring in to people all over the world. And even if we can't see the fruit of that right now, they're planting the seeds.
That's right.
And that phrase has meant a lot to me. Just plant the seeds.
That's right.
And the Lord will grow and tend to those seeds, and we will see fruit. And so those kind of tie hand in hand, I think. But those two things are bringing me hope right now.
Golly. Okay, everybody, now you know why I love Claire Tanner. It's evident that you walk with the Lord, that there is fruit in your life, and that you do pour in to high school girls through Young Life, and that's evident that you are able to do that well, and I'm just so thankful. Oh my gosh, I see hope when I look at you and others on this campus, that you're seeking the Lord, and like I said at the beginning, you encourage me to want to know Jesus more. So thank you. Happy November.
Happy November.
It's the best month. It really is.
So
okay,
good.
guys, we just love you all so much. Thank you for listening. I know that you are highly encouraged by Claire's wisdom today, and what a blessing she is. Happy November, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your week.